today I want to introduce someone really special who decided to make that change for herself. And we started working together. So meet Azucena. Azucena is a really smart, technical, successful person in the world. She's 33 and she decided she wanted to find her soulmate, that she wasn't willing to wait or struggle anymore. And she lives in Austin. And that's all I'm going to tell you. Welcome, Azu. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here and having this opportunity to share the experience and how your coaching works.
So, Azu, let's start at the beginning. So, why don't you share with everyone what your dating life, your love life was like before we started working together? What did you notice?
Yeah, I didn't know that I was codependent, first of all. I,
Yeah,
I learned it with the time, and my last relationship, he was an alcoholic and ex drug addict,
yeah,
as many of you can relate with that story. So, narcissist as well. So this person was the last one. But before of that, obviously, this person was the obvious person that made me realize that I was codependent person.
yeah.
For those guys who doesn't know about a codependent person, this person is gonna be the one who is gonna join another person with addictions,
Yeah,
basically, and you become the support, or you try to change that person and you try to help that person. But sometimes I like coaching as well, and sometimes because you like this part of the of the coin, you think that that is the normal thing to do with your partner as well, but that's not. So that's a codependency that you have.
that's right.
And that was basically my previous path. And unfortunately, I was picking based on my weaknesses and based on these pain points that I had, right? That was my selection of my partners, because that was the program mindset that I had. Like, I deserve to suffer, I deserve to um, be treated bad, or I deserve to help, but to serve, not to be served or helped or supported. So that was my programming.
Yeah. Yeah. And so often we know our programming. Like Azu is pretty self-aware. Like we work with a lot of therapists who are also very self-aware. And when you're codependent, it means I get my value if you like me, if you love me. So I'll help you and I'll fix you and I'll be there for you. But there's a big price to pay. So Azu knew that she had these challenges, and it's almost like an addiction for the person who is codependent, because I was there for a long time. So it goes to show that even knowing something, knowing what the problem is, doesn't mean that you have a solution. So,
Exactly.
so what was the pain? What was it really costing you to know that you were codependent, repeating a cycle from childhood, helping these guys, helping this guy? What did it
Yeah,
cost you? What was
it
happening?
was it was it was the worst thing. The last relationship was the worst, honestly, and it was basically the pain that made me realize that it was enough. So
Yeah,
sometimes whenever, friends come to me and I see that they are going through the same path that I did, because unfortunately it is very common.
it is.
And it is even more common, I think, for girls with around my age, that they are, professional. And even the frustration that everything in your life, it is settled, or you are having or bringing good results in the professional life, but also in everything. But
Everything.
just this part of your love, or your partner, it is just not working. So basically, those girls, I always tell them, well, you gotta go to Bari. Because I know she works like the first part of the coaching that your program has. I think that it's very valuable. For me, it was my favorite part. Then the second part is kind of challenging, like the execution, when you are putting yourself out there in risk, because at the same time it is vulnerable, right? When you go
Right.
outside and you meet new people and you are afraid that the same thing happen again with these new guys, that's the biggest challenge. But I think that it is worth it. It is.
Right, right. Because if not, if we don't make a change, so ultimately the first half we remove those barriers, we get future focused, and you start to understand yourself and your real needs, and you step out of that codependent way of being, and then you understand yourself and new ways of thinking, and we architect the future. So imagine we start the future, we plan the future first, we step into it, and then in the dating you become an empowered dater, and you're only meeting the right people, and then we're changing and growing, right? And so in the second half we could actually fast forward to your love story. So, what happened in this new way of empowered dating? Like,
It was
what
amazing. It was
happened?
I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. And even my father, because I became a friend of my parents at this point because I'm 33 already. So they
Yeah,
are kind of my friends. And I was sharing with them like, oh, today I'm gonna meet these guys, la la la, because I did my plan and I took it seriously, like my
yeah,
second job.
you did.
I did. Like I had a lot of work, but at the same time I was like, no, 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 don't worry. And I gained weight. That's the bad thing, though. I gained weight because I was in too many meetings, or I mean dates. But they were, giving me food, taking me to this nice restaurant, and I was just eating everything. That was the bad thing.
Right.
I
Well,
gained
that's
weight.
why we do coffee. That's why we do coffee first. So,
For
yeah,
salads, girls.
right, right.
Yes.
And then
But
what happens in this process? Because usually we're not like wasting any time. We only focus on the people looking for what we're offering, and it's very focused.
yeah,
And
the good
then
thing was that I think that I had 60 dates, around 60 dates, 57, something like that. I was really hanging out with a lot of
first
guys.
dates, right,
First
first
date,
date.
yeah. I just had once a person that I hang out twice. That's it.
That's
And Jesus, my fiance. But yeah, it was just one day that I repeated, but
right.
that was it. Um so all of them had a very different profile. And that was the exciting part, and my dad was congratulating me because he was like, wow, finally, like you are hanging out with people like at your level. I don't like to say at your level, but I mean, it is what it is.
Aligns,
Yeah,
values,
correct.
vision, goals, not an alcoholic, not
Exactly.
broken, not
Exactly.
narcissistic, right? Healthy guys,
Healthy guys,
healthy
exactly.
guys, right?
Yeah.
That's high
So
quality, right?
yeah, at least, I don't know, I would like to say that 45 out of the 60 were like pretty much very nice guys, like they had a established, economical, financially how do you say established? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, established, solid,
Professionally, successful.
yeah,
They had a good family. Some of them, their parents were divorced, but they didn't want to go through the same thing. So it was kind of people with values. The only thing that happened there, it was that I didn't feel, like the connection.
that's right,
And that's it. Like that's why I didn't keep going, because I didn't feel anything. I
that's
was just like, okay, nice to meet you, la la la, talking. But that's
right,
it. I never took anything like very serious.
right,
As
because
I used to do. Before I used to take everybody seriously. I still do, but with respect, but not taking them seriously like I'm gonna marry you.
right.
Like it was different, the approach.
That's right. Because the approach that
Mhm.
we take for those of you who are watching and with us now is that we're empowered daters. We're not wasting time. A former codependent myself, a guy would choose me and I would go without a real plan and hope it would work out. And then, ends up really losing a lot of time. It was emotionally painful. So the change, the shift, which is 180, is that we learn how to invite in the right people. And we're not looking for really a lot of second dates. We're looking for the one. So when you think about the difference of being in the driver's seat and dating based on values and vision and attraction, right? Not mystery dating.
And
Empowered.
until now, until today, like I still have the like oh my god, let me show you. Let me go again. The same sentence and powerful sentence. I still have it here in my cell phone.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you have an
because
empowered
empower.
statement, a new empowered statement that is a victory over the past. That's a definition of the future. But we can only create that after the first phase of clearing all that heaviness from the past.
Mhm.
Okay, so
And
yay. So you
and
went
I
on.
still have the stick notes in my
Oh,
mirror as well. Today I read them. Yeah,
oh,
I still do that.
that's beautiful because you have empowered ways now of seeing yourself based in reality, right?
Hmm.
Instead of being needy, we need this one, we need a person, we got no, it's wholeness. That's true
Yeah.
wholeness.
And Jesus, he always reminds me that, like every day, like he reminds me, I love you, you are so beautiful. I catch him, thanking God for
Yeah.
being with me. I have catch him, like just speaking, like he thinks that I'm sleeping and he is talking to God, like, oh, thank you so much, God, for having her in my life. And that's so amazing.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is look how gorgeous they look together. You look like you look alike. And I find that to be pretty common in our love stories over the decade. So tell us what was different about when you met Jesus, because we say one ordinary day, everything changes, right? Just
Yes.
one ordinary day. So what
Yeah. So
happened on this
thanks.
date that was different?
Thanks of the exercises that we learned with you in your course, I found out, and also that's why I mentioned this, my statement, because here in the statement, I'm saying I'm attracting my husband who makes me feel beautiful, worthy, desired, respected, and considered. And based on this coaching call that you offer in your program, that I always say that coaching call worth the entire payment in the course.
That's what people say. Bye bye blind spots. Yeah,
Yes,
totally.
that one was I think that was the session that changed my mindset.
Yeah,
And also this statement that I have here, because based on our needs,
yeah,
we are strategically looking for that person
yes.
that it's going to be fulfilling us, our needs, and what we really need, in order to be happy.
That's right.
And that's what that was my focus. So every time that I went to have a date, I always read it. And every day I read it all day, every day. So now, but I was focused on those five needs. And
Yes.
and when I met him,
Yeah.
we were talking, and by 56 or 60 times that I had already done the exercise with different guys, it became like automatically. So when he was talking, I was already like check, check, check,
Check.
subconsciously. It was not that I was like looking for it, but it was subconsciously, like I was like having the feeling that he could be, like, maybe this guy's a good guy. Like that was the first thing, because he was talking about his story, like his life story, and his mom, and how his mom came, because he was born in Mexico too, but he is from immigrants parents, so he moved here and la la la. So I was like, he has values. Like he knows, how to value things. He knows how to. I was, identifying all the values that I was looking for, and I identified them on him. And that was the first thing. I was like, hmm, this is interesting.
Yeah, different. Different, right?
Yeah.
Different. And imagine everyone being able to know how you want to feel, what that's going to look like, because you're already there, because we've done the work to clear all that heaviness and codependence and all the things from the past where we attract the wrong people. So
And
now us,
that was
yeah,
a key too. There's another exercise that it is in the course with Bari, and she creates this meditation right? In
Yeah.
that meditation, and I used to do it very often, more in the beginning of the course, in the first half. The second half, no, not too much, but because of my visual board, I already, I think I already managed the feeling already. I had it. So I just saw the pictures because I put them in my in my head. It's my bed, and then in
Right.
that wall before to going to sleep, I saw it every day.
Oh,
So yeah, that's how I was programming my mind and my soul and everything. So it was very quick when I met him. Everything matches with those feelings of that meditation and of those pictures that I had there in my wall. So that's how I was like, okay, this is
oh,
matching, this is matching the feelings that I had envisioning and the prayers that I had with God.
oh. Yeah, I see it. I mean, you could just see how happy you guys are. Oh, that is so sweet. So, how did you meet? Did you meet him on an app?
Yes. And it was so curious because I had, sometimes I was very tired because,
Yeah.
as I said, I had too much work at work, but
Yep.
I had to have this aside job because I really wanted to make it my priority.
Yep.
So I was like, maybe I should give up, like three times during my journey. I have to be honest because everybody else is gonna have these kind of feelings too. But what I want to say to those guys is that don't give up. Just keep trying.
Don't give up.
So like three times I had that feeling like, oh, it's too many guys already. No, I don't feel anything for anyone. And there's around April, there's a comment that I posted there in the group where I
Yes,
was saying this like around April, like, hey guys, I have hang out a lot with a lot of guys and I just don't feel anything. Is this normal? Blah blah blah. And then another person in the community encouraged me to keep trying, and not giving up. So
that's
I'm
right.
like, okay, let's do it. So I kept going, and
That's it.
every time that I wanted to give up, I went back to my visual board. Even once I wanted to take all the pictures from my visual board. I have to be honest. But no,
Right.
I didn't. And every time I was, going back stronger and stronger. And there was a guy who was like exactly everything, in the checklist.
Yep.
And then I remember that you told me, hey, be careful because sometimes when the checklist comes, it's like weird. And yes, it was weird. After 15 days, something like that, I noticed that no, I
No,
was not his priority. And I told him, hey, Michael, I don't think that you are the person that I'm looking for. I'm so sorry. I really admire your brain, but that's it. Like I don't have the emotional connection with you.
that's right. As opposed to the past. So everyone watching, you have to just imagine what it's like. Here's someone who was codependent with an alcoholic, all these problems, and she was there, staying, sticking, very painful. And now she's like, I know who I am. I know how I want to feel. And she actually made that quick change. No, it was great meeting you. You have a great brain, but you're not for me.
Mhm.
So
We have to be honest
that's
with
right.
ourselves as well, because
That's
I was tempted with that guy to stay there with that guy. But no,
okay.
I was like, no, because I went back to my statement. And in that statement, there was something that he didn't make me feel, and it was worthy and considered.
Worthy.
Because he said, because he was millionaire, and he said, huh, I don't think that a woman, it doesn't matter what a woman does. He said that. And I'm like, wait a minute, with that comment, I didn't feel considered and I didn't feel worth it.
That's right.
So I'm like, no.
No,
And I
no,
didn't feel respected neither. So I'm like, no,
that's
he's
right.
not. He's not really, feeding this part that I really need. So
And
I
that's
have
right.
to
We
let him go.
honor our needs. We learn to honor our needs, but we have to recognize those needs. If not, we're settling and waiting. And the mistake a lot of women make is they think that they're sharing their vision and their values. But the problem is if we don't do the inner work, we keep sharing our vision with the wrong people. Then we say there's
Mhm,
no one out there. Then we blame the apps. Then we think we need to lose 20 pounds, but it's not about that.
mhm.
So what was different? about Jesus, like as it's unfolding, what did you start to see?
The way that he talked to me, the way that he made me feel respected, considered, the way that I felt worth it. And he was looking for a woman, a worth it woman. So that was super, like when we were talking a little bit more and more and engaging, our
Yeah,
first date was 7 hours, by the way.
I hear that. I hear that. When it's right, it flows. That's right.
Yeah, we never until now, like weeks pass by super quick and we just I don't know. When we met each other the first day, we really wanted to see each other the next day. And we were looking like, for an excuse to see each other.
Right.
And like I don't know, it has been just like that. Like we really want to be with each other. And it is not being dependent. It is just that we enjoy so much our presence, like our um
Your time.
yeah, our time together, that it's just happy.
I love it. And how did he propose? How did
Yeah,
you knew that you always kind of know it's coming. So, yeah. So how did
yeah. He's as he's an engineer, he doesn't have this romantic side, like doing flowers and things like that, and me neither. So I'm fine with that. So we are more practical, and
yeah,
we really don't care about the romantic thing, like you know, La La Land, like we
right.
call it.
Yes.
We are more like, okay, this is the reality. So, for example, unfortunately, like I bought a house and I rented and I had roommates, and one of my roommates passed away.
Oh, so
So
sorry.
no, it's okay. In one of my rooms. So that event was super heavy, and that helped us to be closer, because he saw my reaction under this super difficult situation. I saw his reaction, and how we could support each other.
Yeah.
That for me, that was so significant, and I think that for him as well, because he could tell that, okay, I'm a strong woman, and I could tell that, okay, I can rely on him. So that event helped us, and then because of that, he was
Yeah.
like, hey, I don't want you to be alone here in the house because blah blah blah. So we decided to move here in his house. So when we were done with all the move, and I had rented my house to, like, the entire house to another tenant, he proposed,
Oh,
when I moved here. Like we were just installing the laundry, and we were there in the laundry room, and he just came into the two knees, and he was like just telling me about family and the stories and like the wishes that he had. But as he used to do that, I didn't see it coming.
oh,
But like he was like, and do you want to marry me? And he would just give me the ring, and I'm like,
no.
yes, thank you.
Oh. And how are your parents feeling? They must be so excited for you.
Yeah, everyone is so happy because the things that I say, like when I share my feelings, like how I feel, how he treats me and all that. So
Yeah.
they are very happy for
Oh,
me, and we are going to Mexico on the 23rd, and he's going to meet my family, and we are having a dinner there, and 40 people are going.
wow. And you're getting married on November 4th, huh?
Exactly. That's why we are doing this event there in Mexico, because not everybody could come. And
Oh,
that's why, we are having this dinner, and so my family can meet him, and then we are getting married here on November the 4th
that is in Austin. So
in
exciting.
Austin.
And so what are you now? Your life is totally different. You
It
from
is.
codependent, dating an alcoholic who is out of control to now knowing you're getting married, you have your partner, your soulmate. So
Exactly.
exciting. All right, Azu, sending so much love. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'm excited to see it all unfold with you.
Thank you. Don't hesitate, girls. Just do it.
Bye, guys. Thank you
Bye.
so much. See you next time.